and down just a hair. That's right, we don't need it to be that perfect. There we go. Here's your ambience. Baseball stadium ambience. Good afternoon, everyone. It's time for Strat-O-Matic baseball. Steve Aquilon, aka Spokane Steve. We got a ball game today. Cleveland Indians at Boston Red Sox. Gary Bell on the mound for Cleveland. Dick Stigman on the mound for Boston. Stigman was a right-hander, wasn't he? No, Stigman is a left-hander. Well, let's get that straight right away. We don't want to go through that again. I'll even write it in here. Stigman the lefty. 5.44 earned run average. Bell was a good pitcher. And he had a good season. So Cleveland off to a 5-1 start here. Boston 3-5. And I've got another score sheet already made up. I might play 2 today. Hell, I might even play 3. We might just see if I can break in the new year with a little Strat-O-Matic streamathon. Or not. We'll see how I feel. One thing's for sure, we're playing this one. Okay, you know, like I say, one day at a time. Well, one game at a time. And we'll get to the starting lineups here and get underway. I've got some coffee. And here we go. Here's the starting lineup for Cleveland. It will be Vic Davalillo leading off in center field. Max Alvis at third base. Jim Landis in left field today, batting third. Rocky Colavito in right field in the cleanup spot. Fred Whitfield will be at first base. Pedro Gonzalez at second base. Larry Brown is the shortstop. Joe Askew will do the catching today and bat 8th, and Bell will bat 9th. And greetings, Arnold, and welcome. You know, I haven't played the basic game in many, many years, since the early 70s probably. It certainly makes for a quicker game, I'll give you that. Okay, let's get to the Boston lineup. Lenny Green's going to be in center field, batting leadoff. Eddie Casco's at third base. Yaz will be in left field. Tony Canigliaro's in right field hitting cleanup. George Scott's at first base. Bob Tillman will do the catching and bat 6th. Rico Petrocelli at shortstop. George Smith at second base. And Stigman, the pitcher, batting 9th. That rounds out the Boston lineup. And Jeffrey's here. And Franklin's here. Welcome, guys. Glad you could join me. And Happy New Year to everyone. I know it's not technically whatever, but close enough. I found some stuff called, what is that stuff called? It's an eye drop that's really good for dry eye, and that seems to be helping. So I think part of my vision problem definitely is these reading glasses. That is a fact. But I think part of it is dry eye, which I know I had early signs of a couple of years ago. So I do need to get back into the eye doctor and see what's going on. And I've got I did have some early cataract issues, which my mom had them. She had the surgery, and she said everything became not so blurry after she had the cataract surgery. So I find that interesting. And I'm going to explore that. Because, yeah, lately I've had a harder and harder time reading the cards. But I can see them well enough most of the time. Okay, let's get this one started. There's Larry. Hello, Larry, and welcome. Okay, we're about ready to get underway here as Stigman, the left-hander, has completed his warm-ups. Davalillo is going to lead it off here for Cleveland, left-handed batter. Left on left as Stigman goes into the windup, and here's the first pitch to Davalillo on a 1-7. It's a pop-up, second base. Smith has it. One down. And we're underway here at Fenway Park. We've had some wild games at Fenway Park this season, and, you know, I kind of hope this one is no exception. Cleveland comes into the game at 5-1, Boston at 3-5. Boston does not seem to have a lot of pitching in this season. I can say that. Okay, it'll be Max Alvis now for the Indians. Here's Stigman's pitch. That's going to be a 4-5 to the right-hander. Struck him out. So down goes Alvis. And that will bring up Jim Landis. Landis, a part-time player. He batted .222 and 158 at bats, but he gets the start in left field today. Standing in from the right side as Stigman winds and deals. That's going to be a 4-8 to the righty, and he loses him ball 4. Base on balls to Landis. Let's see how his speed is. A non-asterisk 13. He will not be held on, especially not with Rocky Colavito coming to the plate. You're not going to take the bat out of Rocky's hand. Rocky is tied for the league lead with 5 home runs. Stigman into the stretch now, and here's the pitch. It's going to be a 1-5 against the left-hander. Fly ball to center field. That's going to be playable for Green. He's there and makes the catch to retire the side. So the Indians, no runs, no hits. They leave a man. And at the end of a half, it's Cleveland nothing, Boston coming to bat. And I forgot to use my outs marker, something I've added to the fray, so to speak. I've been known to lose track of how many outs there are. Not very often, but I've done it. Okay, here's Bell now. Gary Bell, the right-hander, had a fine season. Let's look at him a little bit here. 14-15, but a nice 3.22 ERA, 37 starts, 254 innings. So he was a workhorse for Cleveland in 1966. Here's Lenny Green, the center fielder, a left-handed hitter. Bell gets the sign from Askew. Here's the windup in the pitch, a 6-10 to the lefty, swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Green. And Bell, much like Nuke LaLoosh in Bull Durham, likes to announce his presence with authority. And here's Casco now, right-handed hitting third baseman. Bell, 1-4 against the righty. It's a pop-up left side. That'll be handled easily by Max Alvis. And quickly, there's 2 away. Here's Yaz now, 2 down, nobody on. Bell, the windup, the pitch to Yaz. It's a 6-7 to the left-hander. It's a grounder to second base X. That's going to be Gonzalez. He's a 3E14. As he ranges behind the bag, here's the play. On a 10, that's the error range. A 14 on the roll of a 7. He's got it. Turns and throws in time. Nice play, Gonzalez. 4-3X. 1-2-3 go the Sox. And we're scoreless after 1. Just getting started here, folks. Looks like we got 7 people in the chat. That's really nice. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me on a New Year's Eve. You know, I've got the Angel Minnesota game already. I've already got the score sheet made out for that one. So I might play 2 today. We'll see how I feel after this one. I'd say it's a 50-50 shot, as I've been kind of dragging ass all day. But I'm still drinking coffee, so I'm not going to do tea today. Oh, I have no illusions of making it till midnight. Don't worry about that. I never do. I can't remember. Well, I can remember actually last year I made it till midnight, but I was in California on vacation. I was down in Morro Bay, and there were rumors of fireworks on the bay, and I really wanted to see that, so I stayed up, and a huge disappointment, there were none. And I thought, well, what a letdown that is. I stayed up till midnight, and there's no freaking fireworks. So anyway, prior to last year, though, you'd have to go back many, many years to find a year when I made it to midnight. And I'll tell you, that was an effort on my part to do so last year. Okay, top of the second, we've got Whitfield. Gonzalez on deck. Whitfield, the left-handed batter. So left on left. Stigman, the windup and the pitch on a 5-8 is a grounder to second base X. That's going to be Smith. He's a 2E28. Here's the play. On a 1, he can't get it. That's a single. Oh my, that would have been a tough play for anyone. Smith made a hell of an effort, but Whitfield's got a single, and deservedly so. No threat to steal, slow runner. And here's Pedro Gonzalez. And Larry's for the Tribe. I'm kind of for the Tribe too. They're off to a surprising 5-1 start. I'd like to see how far they can go with that. Okay, Gonzalez is going to hit away, runner not held. From the stretch, it's a 6-7, and he walks him. So 2 on, nobody out for the Tribe here in the second, and it'll be Larry Brown, the shortstop. Stigman in a bit of a jam here as he comes set, gets his sign from Tillman. Here's the pitch on a 1-5. That's a base hit into center field. That's an open single. Whitfield could try to score on that. I kind of don't see that happening. Well, Green is the +2. Let's look at Whitfield. 1 through 9, +2, 1 through 11. Nobody out. No, we're going to hold him up. And the Indians will have the bases loaded with nobody out. And here's Joe Askew. Askew, in an earlier game this year, came off the bench to hit a walk-off home run in a pinch hitting role. That was also against a left-handed pitcher. So he can do it. He's got the power against lefties. And here's Stigman now. He's in a jam. He goes into the full windup. Pitch to Askew on a 1-8. It's a single to 2, but that liner is right into the glove of Casco. Back to the bag is Whitfield. Oh, just in time. And 1 down. So now with the bases loaded and Bell is up, how are they going to play this? Bell's an A bunter. I'm going to let the dice decide. I call this the Guterman method. 1 through 3, it's in. Infield will be back. This looks like the perfect opportunity for a squeeze play. You've got an A bunter who's a terrible hitter. He's going to lay it down. Here's the squeeze play. 11 on an A. Oh my God, he misses the pitch. Runner on third attempts to steal home. Well, that's just great because the runner on third is Whitfield. And now aren't I sorry I did that, huh? You have to refresh my memory. Hang on a second here. Stealing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go to... Let's go to advanced stealing. great. It doesn't say anything about it. Where the heck is the section on stealing home? I assume he's going to be thrown out. My guess is it would be his second number and that he has to get the lead. Of course, on a no, he doesn't have to get the lead. On a squeeze play, he'd already have the lead. So he has to roll a 1 through 3 to be safe. So here's the roll. He's out at the plate. Yeah, we're not surprised at all. Whitfield's slow. Boy, am I sorry I did that for the Cleveland fans there. So he's forced. That's 2 down. And unfortunately, that means that Bell's still up there. So it would have been better off to hit away in the first place. But I was thinking, you know, with an A bunter, maybe they could steal and run. Now he'll hit away on a 3-6, a grounder to short. That's going to be Petrocelli, throws him out. Oh my goodness, and they didn't leave the bases loaded technically, but they kind of did, if you know what I mean. No runs, 2 hits. A potential big inning, botched by a broken up squeeze. Well, considering how weird 2023 has been for me, that's kind of an appropriate way to ring out the year. So bottom of the second, no score. Here's Canigliaro to lead it off for Boston. Bell into the windup. Here's the pitch to Tony on a 2-8. He's going to pop it up to short. Brown there. Makes the catch. 1 down. And here's Scott. George Scott. He's got some pop. Bell with the pitch to Scott on a 2-3. Tapper down to third base. That'll be Max Alvis. He makes the play for the out. 2 away and Bob Tillman the hitter. Bell's pitch on a 1-6, tapper down to short. That'll be Brown. Throws him out. 1, 2, 3, go the Red Sox. And we're scoreless after 2. Sometimes they get out of jams, you know. In Jeffrey's game today, the pitcher it's not Bosman, it's the oh god, I can't think of his name now. Boswell? Boswell? Oh my god, he was getting out of jams all day. Here's Davalillo. And that's Jeffrey Guterman I'm talking about. I'm going to post the link in case, I usually try to remember to do this, in case any of you guys haven't caught this. There's the link. Check it out. 1969 replay is into September now, coming down the stretch drive, and 1972 football, and occasionally 1911 baseball. There was a 1911 game this morning. So that's Jeffrey Guterman. Fine Strat-O-Matic presentation, as well as a lot of insight into a lot of various topics. I like what the one guy said. I come for the game and I stay for the commentary. I don't quite do that. I do venture off on tangents occasionally, but frankly, I'm just not that knowledgeable about that many things. I don't have that skill set. Here's Davalillo to lead it off in the third for Cleveland. Top of the order. Stigman, left on left. Here's the pitch. It's a 6-6. He walks him. Oh my, a leadoff walk to Davalillo, and he does have wheels. An asterisk 15. Stigman with a horrible hold of a +9 to Tillman at +3. Of course, the most it can be is 5, but it will be 5, and that would make him a 20. So he'll have to be held on where he's still an 18. Unfortunately, he's got that roll of a 9 automatic caught stealing, which kind of dissuades you a bit from trying it. So Alvis will hit away. From the stretch, pitch to Alvis. That's going to be a 4-9 to the righty. He struck him out. That's twice he's gotten Alvis. In fact, those are his only 2 strikeouts. And here's Landis now. Landis walked in the first. Stigman from the stretch on a 2-7, a single on a 1, but that liner is right into the glove of Casco, and Landis is retired. So 2 down, the runner still held, remember, and here's Colavito now. Stigman from the stretch, the pitch to Rocky, a 3-3, gets a base hit into center. Davalillo can try to go to third on that. It's a +2. As I can see, this is going to be almost automatic. 17, 19, yeah, 1 through 19, they'll concede it. So on a single by Colavito, Davalillo turns into third easily. The throw is cut off, holding Colavito to first. Runners at the corners and 2 down, and here's Whitfield. Left on left. Pitch from Stigman is a 4-6, swung on and missed, strike 3, and Stigman escapes another jam. No runs, a hit, 2 left. So Stigman leading a charmed life so far early on in this ball game. And Gary Bell will get ready to work the bottom of the inning. It'll be the bottom of the order for Boston. Petrocelli, Smith, and Stigman. And I'll grab a little sip of coffee. Yeah, Franklin. Yeah, they were a 500 team in '66. So a really nice start for them at 5-1. In fact, they're probably, I know Minnesota's in first place. They're only a half a game behind the first place Minnesota Twins, who play later against the California Angels. So here's Petrocelli now. Bell comes set. The pitch is 6-8 to the right-hander. It's a double to 5, but that fly ball is drifting and caught by Landis. 1 down. It hung up for Landis. Looked pretty well hit off the bat, but it hung up and Landis was able to drift over and make the catch. So here's Smith. Bell's delivery on a 3-7. It's a tapper down to short. That's going to be Brown. He's got it. Long throw across in time. 2 away quickly. And here's Stigman. Stigman's a right-handed batter. And here's the pitch for Bell on a 2-12. Grounder to short. Brown again, a 6-3, 1-2-3, goes Boston. And Bell's been flawless for 3. And Stigman's been dodging bullets for 3. And that's the story so far. As we move to the 4th. Gonzalez, Brown, and Askew due for Cleveland. I'm going to grab a little sip of coffee. Get a little nicotine infusion. Okay, we're set to go here. Stigman's ready. Gonzalez stepping in from the right side. Stigman gets the side. The windup and the pitch. 3-11 against the lefty. Pop up. Shortstop. Petrocelli's got it. 1 down. Here is Larry Brown. He singled his first time up. Stigman the windup. The pitch to Brown on a 6-10. That's a grounder down to third base. That's going to be Casco. He's got it and throws him out. And with 2 away, Askew comes to the plate. Here's the pitch to Askew on a 112. He hits him. Holy crap. Askew is drilled with 2 outs. Not quite sure what that was about. But here's Bell, a right-handed batter. Stigman delivers on a 4-9, swung on and missed strike 3. So Stigman makes short work of his opposite number. No runs, no hits, a man left on. The hit by the pitch to Askew. And we are still scoreless, moving to the bottom of the 4th. And welcome James and welcome Kurt. Hot chocolate sounds good too, James. And Kurt's decided to sit out in the monster. I know some guys from one of my keeper leagues, 3 brothers that owned a sand and gravel business in the Boston area, and they have season tickets to Fenway. They had 2 sets. I think at one time they actually had 3 pairs of season tickets. And they used them for their business, you know, partly. They'd go to a lot of games too, of course, but they'd hand them out to clients and customers, whatever. But one pair was in the monster. That's what made me think of that. One was in the box, that 700 box or whatever the hell they call it now. And they always said, if you ever come out this way, we'll take you to a game. But the thing about the Aqualung is I don't fly. I've done it, but I don't like it. I don't like to fly. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. It will be the top of the order for Boston. It will be Lenny Green to lead things off. Bell's pitch to Green. It's a 6-9, fly ball to left. Landis right there. He makes the catch. And that'll bring up Casco. Bell's pitch to Casco, a 5-8 to the righty. That's going to be a triple on a 4. Holy cow, I almost called it a single. Triple 1-4. Down in the corner, rattling around. By the time Colavito gets to it, Casco's on his way into 3rd, and he's got himself a triple. Holy cow, that's an exciting play. 1 down, Casco at 3rd, 1 through 11 runner. Cleveland's going to pull the infield in here in a scoreless game. Here's Yastrzemski. Pitch to Yaz is a 3-8. Fly ball to right field, B question mark. Okay, so that's going to be Colavito. -4 gun. Casco can tag up and try to score on that. An 11 with 2 outs. 13. -4, he'd be a 1 through 9, or let Canigliaro bat. Man, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. I tell you, if it was 1 through 10, I'd probably do it. Probably should do it 1 through 9, but I'm not going to. I'm going to hold him up and let Canigliaro have a shot at it. So Casco heads for the plate, thinks better of it, hightails it back to 3rd. Here's the pitch to Canigliaro, a 5-7 to the righty, grounder to 3rd. That's going to be Alvis, and he throws him out. No runs a hit, a man left, and we're scoreless after 4. And Franklin says, I liked seeing only 1 column in each league's standings. I'm not sure I understand. You'll have to elaborate, Franklin, if you would, please. As we move along to the 5th, in a scoreless ball game, it'll be the top of the order for Cleveland. Davalillo to lead it off. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Stigman ready to go. Left on left. The windup and the pitch. A 6-6. He walks him for the second time. And he'll have to be held on. We already know what that is. It's a 1-18, but he's got that 9. You know what? He's going to risk it. He's going to try for the lead. 2 through 8 and 12, and he's caught on a 9. It's at 8. He's got it. 1-18. Here he comes. The throw from Tillman. He's in there. Davalillo's stolen it. So, stolen base, Davalillo. And the next pitch to Alvis. 2-3 to the left-hander. Grounder to first base. Then the runners will hold. And Scott takes it to the bag himself. So Davalillo at second. 1 down, and here's Landis. Landis 0 for 1 with a walk. Stigman ready now. Here's the pitch on a 4-10 to the right-hander. Grounder to short. That's Petrocelli. Throws him out. And Davalillo has to hold. So 2 down, and it's up to Rocky. 1 for 2. Landis into his windup now. The pitch to Rocky on a 4-8. He walked him. So the second walk issued this inning by Stigman. Fred Whitfield's coming up. Oh, I see what you mean. Right, no divisions. That's another reason I picked one of the years prior to 69 for my replay. I wanted to go back to the pre-playoff baseball when the Giants won the pennant. The Giant, whatever. Somebody wins the pennant. That's how it was then. And those days, of course, are long gone as the playoffs become more and more diluted every year. They're already talking about adding 2 more teams in each league to the postseason. So what have we got now? 6? We got 12 now, right? 3 division winners and 3 wild cards in each league. So 12. So if they added 2 more in each league, that would be 16. So you'd have 16 of the 30 teams making the postseason. I don't know. That just seems ridiculous to me. What's the point of playing 162 games then? If they're going to do that, I would say, okay, then shorten the season by a month and make the playoffs, make them all best of 9. Make the series best of 11, for God's sake. Make it mean something. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud now. They're going to do whatever they're going to do, and it's going to be... The bottom line, it's going to be to make money. We know that. Okay, it's Scott. What am I doing here? It's Whitfield, Gonzalez, and Brown as we go to the top of the 5th. No, we're going to the bottom of the 5th. I'm sorry. I get carried away ranting, and that's what happens. Fortunately, I can always look at the score sheet, right? So it's going to be Scott, Tillman, and Petrocelli for Boston in the bottom of... No, they're still up. What am I saying? Good grief almighty. They've got 2 men on, 2 out, and Whitfield's still up. Stigman's next pitch to Whitfield on a 1-7 grounds it to second base. That's going to be Smith to make the play. He'll go the short way to short to retire the side. So Cleveland leads 2, a pair of walks, no hits, no runs. Oh, no harm done. We figured it out. At least I didn't start playing the 6th inning or something stupid like that. Now we're in the bottom of the 5th, and George Scott is up. Bell ready to go now. The windup. Pitch to Scott on a 6-5 to the right-hander. That's a grounder to shortstop X. That's going to be Brown. He's a 3E31. As he ranges behind the bag on a 20, he's got it and throws him out. So nice play by Brown, 1 down, and here's Tillman. Tillman, the catcher, 3E4 plus 3. 4-2 to the right-hander. Swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Tillman on strikes. And that brings up Rico Petrocelli. Although, as I like to point out, being of Italian descent myself, a lot of these names were Americanized back in the 60s. It would be Petrocelli, would be the correct Italian pronunciation. But we're calling him Petrocelli because that's what I grew up knowing him as. Here's the pitch to Petrocelli, a 5-9 high fly ball to left field. That's going to be off the wall for a double. So just the second hit of the game for the Red Sox, both for extra bases. Casco's triple, and now a double by Petrocelli with 2 down. And that'll bring up George Smith. Bell winds and deals to Smith on a 3-6. He pops him up. Brown's under it. And that'll do it. No runs to hit, a man left. And how about that? We got a scoreless duel after 5 complete. And Stigman seems to have settled down a bit. Well, not that much. He walked 2 batters last inning. He's an S5, so he's already in his second inning of endurance or potential fatigue. As Gonzalez steps to the plate, Stigman winds and deals. That's going to be a 2-12 against the lefty. Grounder to short. That's Petrocelli. He's got it and throws him out. Oh my goodness. And here's Brown now. Brown 1 for 2. Stigman, the windup in the pitch. It's a 4-7 to the righty. A single to 4, but that liner's going to be caught by Petrocelli. Liner to short, 2 away quickly, and here's Askew. 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch his last time out. As he walks to the plate, he's giving Stigman the eye. He doesn't look too happy. And here's the pitch from Stigman. On a 4-3, that's a high fly ball to left field. Back goes Yastrzemski. That's over the frickin' monster and gone. Joe Askew has done it again. Oh my God, let's look at that. 4-3. Home run. He's got the power. And another dramatic home run for Joe Askew. Part-time player. And I want to say that's his second home run. It is. That's Askew's second home run, and it's 1-0 Cleveland. Boy, James, you hit it right on the nail head, my friend. That's the best way to respond to that. Jack went over the wall. And here's Bell. Stigman's pitch is a 3-10. Grounder to third. That's Casco. He throws him out. But Cleveland takes the lead on a solo blast by Joe Askew, and they lead the ball game 1-0. Joe Askew. See, I've already developed a rooting interest for him when he hit that walk-off homer for him, and now he does this one. And I like the unsung heroes. I mean, everybody loves the superstars, and so do I. Of course, everybody does. But I really take a lot of joy in these little guys like Askew, making a name for themselves here. Bottom of the 6th, are we going to let Stigman bat for Boston? That's the question. Stigman's an S5. He's already gone 6 innings, and they trail. I'd be inclined to bat for him here. On the other hand, he's only allowed 4 hits, so he's pitching a good game. So he's got that going for him. Boy, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, really. It's early in a 1-0 game. I'm going to let these pitchers duke it out. So he's going to bat 1-5. He strikes him out. I'm going to let the starting pitchers duel. Mainly because that's what I love to see. So here's Lenny Green now with 1 down. Bell gets his sign. 3-6 against the righty. A grounder to second. Gonzalez will make that play easily. Sidearm throw over to Whitfield, and there's 2 away. Here's Casco, 1 for 2 with the triple. He was left stranded at third base in the 4th. Bell winds and deals on a 3-5, a tapper down to short. That's Brown. He's got it. Throws him out. At 1-2-3 goes Boston in the 6th. After 6 complete, it's Cleveland 1, Boston nothing. Stigman getting ready to work the 7th. Top of the order for the Indians. And I find I have to catch myself sometimes from not saying Guardians. At first, when they changed the name, it took me a while to remember it the other way around. And I finally got used to Guardians, and now that's stuck in my head. It's funny how the mind works that way. Especially as we get older and become more and more creatures of habit. Here's Davalillo. Left on left on a 2-8. That's going to be a grounder down to first. Scott has it, flips to Stigman covering. And there's 1 away. Here's Alvis now. 0 for 3. He struck out twice. Stigman winds and deals a 2-10. Foul ball back at the plate. Tillman drifting back on it. He's got it. 2 down. And here's Landis. Landis 0 for 2 with a walk. Stigman into his windup now. Pitch to Landis, a 2-10. That's a pop-up on the infield. Smith calling. He's got it. 1-2-3, go the Tribe. And a 1-2-3 inning for Stigman. Normally when I have a tough decision like that to pinch it for the pitcher or not, and I decide to leave him in, he immediately gives it up in the following inning. So he didn't. Stigman didn't do that this time. Bell gets ready to work. It'll be the heart of the order for Boston. It's going to be Yaz, Canigliaro, and Scott. They trail by a run. Bottom of the 7th. Here's Yaz standing in from the left side. Bell, the sign from Askew, the windup. Pitch to Yaz on a 6-7. It's a grounder to second base X. That'll be Gonzalez. He's a 3E14. Here's the play. On a 1, he can't get it. That's a base hit for Yaz. So Yaz with a leadoff single. And he's an asterisk 15. Bell is 0. Askew a -2, so he'd only be a 13 not held. And they're going to not hold him. And Tony will hit away. And here's another one that we always said Canigliaro, but the G, of course, would be silent. That would be Canigliaro. Anyway, enough of that. But it's something I never noticed, thought about much as a kid, right? Anyway, here's Canigliaro. From the stretch on a 1-7, fly ball to center field. Davalillo ranging and catches it for the out. Yaz not held on. Here's George Scott. Scott's 0 for 2 as Bell from the stretch comes to the plate on a 3-5. That's a base hit into left field. Yaz can try to go to third on that. That's an open single. Landis is a +1. Yaz a 14, but to third is -2. So that would be 12 + 1. That would be 13 for Yaz with 1 out. He's going to try it. 1 to 13. Here comes the throw. He's in there. The gamble pays off. Yaz scoots into third. Scott churns into second on the throw, and the Red Sox are in business now. Second and third, 1 down. And Tillman will be the hitter. 0 for 2. 2 hits allowed in the inning. Bell and S7. We've got some activity out there in the Cleveland pen. El Tiante is warming. How about that? And greetings, Mike, and welcome. Glad you could join us on this New Year's Eve day. Yeah, El Tiante in the pen. You bet. Why not? And here's Tillman now. Bell ready to work. Cleveland will play the infield in here. There's 1 down. Second and third. Pitch to Tillman, a 3-6 grounder to third base. With the infield in, the runners will hold as Elvis makes the play and throws him out. And with 2 down, it'll be up to Petrocelli. So a critical situation here for Gary Bell. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. He leads the game 1-0. 1 more hit or walk will also fatigue him. So he's fighting for his life out there right now. As he goes into the windup, the pitch to Rico on a 5-6 tapper to short. That's going to do it. Brown's got it and throws him out. And Bell gets out of the jam. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left on. The first real threat for Boston. And after 7 complete, it's Indians 1, Red Sox 0. And Dick Stigman, kind of like the Energizer Bunny, he's still going. He's going to face pretty much the heart of the order. Colorado and Whitfield, at least. And here's Rocky now. Colavido's 1 for 2 with a walk. As Stigman gets his sign from Tillman, the windup, the pitch to Rocky. A 6-10 to the right-hander. Tapper down to third. Casco charging. He's got it. Throws him out. And with 1 away, that'll bring up Whitfield. Fred is 1 for 3 today. The pitch from Stigman is a 4-7 to the lefty. Single to 12. That's knocked down by Scott, but he can't come up with it. That'll be ruled a base hit. Perhaps generous scoring, some would say, but a single it is. And Whitfield's aboard with 1 down. And now the Red Sox will get some bullpen activity going. It looks like Ken Sanders, the right-hander down there. And it'll be Pedro Gonzalez batting for the Tribe here against Stigman, who comes from the stretch now. And pitch to Gonzalez, a 1-9 against the lefty. A triple to 4. Isn't that what he rolled the last time? No, that was Casco. Triple to 4 is a single with a 2-base advance. Whitfield into third. And now the Tribe's in business with runners at the corners and 1 out. And Larry Brown will be the batter. And now 1 more hitter walk will fatigue Stigman. Tillman out to the mound. So they're out there. Stigman's nodding, going over something. Probably what pitch sequence they're going to use against Larry Brown, I suppose. Let's check Gonzalez for speed. He's an asterisk 15. Okay, is Stigman a terrible hold? He's got to be held on. He'd be an 18 held on. He's going to try for the lead. 2 through 6 and 10. He's got it, 1 through 18. Here he goes. Here's Tillman's throw. He's in there. Pedro Gonzalez has stolen it. Well, that takes the double play out of the picture. Stolen base, Pedro Gonzalez. And here's Stigman's next pitch to Larry Brown. On a 4-10 against the righty. That's a grounder to short A. Runners will hold. 6-3. I forgot to say infield in, which it clearly would have been in that situation. Tight ball game, 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. Absolutely, the infield would have been in, but I didn't say it. Anyway, on a ground ball A, he does not advance anyway. And it will be up to Askew. In fact, they're going to put Askew on. He's already hit him with a pitch and then gave up a home run. So he's not even going to mess around with Askew anymore. And that makes it an interesting strategy choice for Cleveland. They've gotten 7 out of Bell. Of course, the Red Sox want Bell to come out of the game. That's one reason they walked Askew. Bear with me, folks. I'm thinking about this one. This is one of those 50-50 decisions, right? You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. But I try to compartmentalize the managing for both teams. Sometimes it's not easy. Mike does not want a pinch hit for Bell. Is that what you're saying, Mike? Let's see who they would use. They'd probably bring in Chico Salmon. Well, does anybody else like to weigh in? Mike wants the pitcher to bat. I'm 50-50. I'm kind of leaning towards hitting for him. And then bring in Tiant. And James is kind of for it. So we're on the fence here. And that's true. Bell's pitching a dandy. Yeah, I kind of like to, if I were managing the game trying to, God, it's tough. If I were playing somebody else, I'd probably hit. But yeah, my first priority really is usually to give a starting pitcher a chance to pitch a great game. Of course, James makes a good point, too, about the weakness point, but I'm going to let Bell go for it. The pitch from Stigman on a 5-7, and look at that. Bell rips a double into the left center gap, plating 2. How about that? Well, for Cleveland, that's a win-win. Let's look at that again. 5-7. That's a double. Whitfield and Gonzalez both will score. Askew will hold up at third on the double by Bell. And it's 3-0. And that tires Stigman. So here comes Billy Herman. Davalio do Albus on deck. That's going to be all for Stigman. So it's Stigman rather than Bell who exits the game. And James says Bell had it all the way. So Stigman Stegman's an S5, isn't he? Yeah, Stegman only an S5. He goes 7 2/3. Pitched a fine game, really. 3, 4, 7 hits, but 3 of them in this inning. He'd only allowed 4 hits coming into the inning. He walked a few, though. 5. 6 if you count the intentional. 6, one of them intentional. It does count, of course. Struck out 3, 4, 4. And those runners at the second and third are his responsibility. And here's Ken Sanders coming on now. He was already loosening. He was anticipating coming in a tighter ball game, but since he was already loose, we're going to bring him in anyway. He pitched in this game in real life. Sanders also will be traded to Kansas City at some point in this season. So Sanders on to face Davalillo with runners at second and third and 2 down. Indians up by 3 now. And here's the pitch to Vick on a 5-8 grounder to second. That's Smith. He'll throw him out to retire the side. But Cleveland comes up with 2 big runs, driven in by the one-hitting weak pitcher, Gary Bell. 2 runs on 3 hits, they leave a pair. And Bell takes a 3-0 lead into the bottom of the 8th. And let's look at the Indians' defense. Looks pretty good to me. They've already got Landis in the game. You could replace Whitfield at first base. I don't think they have anybody, though. They might. Let's see. You could bring in Hinton, a 316, or Salmon, a 322. Hinton was actually the regular, well, he wasn't the regular, but he had 346 at-bats. That would be the only change I could see making defensively, and that's what we're going to do. For Cleveland, Chuck Hinton will replace Fred Whitfield at first base. Hinton a 3E16. So a slight improvement over Whitfield's 4E15. And Gary Bell now has a 3-run cushion to work with. And it will be Smith, the pitcher's spot, and Green for Boston. So a low-scoring game. It's probably the first low-scoring game I've had in Fenway so far. And I'm not using ballpark effects, so that really doesn't matter. But so far, all of my Fenway games have been pretty wild. So this is a departure from the norm, so to speak. And now let's see if Bell can close it out. He's working on a 4-hit shutout. And here's Smith. Bell, the windup and the pitch. It's a 5-6 grounder to short. Brown's got it. Throws him out. Now we'll have a pinch hitter with 1 down. And I screwed that up again. I keep forgetting about the double switch when the pitcher's coming up that soon. But I guess it doesn't matter. Sanders the third. Elvis Landis, Colavito. So let's see who's going to be coming on for Boston. Allen's a lefty. Probably Bucky Brandon in this spot. The game's still within reach, so we're not going to bring a mop-up man or anything like that in here. Do the best we can for Boston, too. And that's Brandon, the right-hander. Now they need a batter. No, I'm sorry. Brandon. Gee, what am I saying? Yeah, that's right. Brandon. So who the hell did Bob Allen play for? Hang on a second. Bear with me. I'm confused about something, and having some of these players traded is what does it. Bob Allen. Yeah, Bob Allen's supposed to be on Cleveland. Somehow I had him in the Red Sox bullpen. I don't know how the hell that happened. And the same with Radats, but I think Radats is supposed to be there. Let's look at that just to double check. I think Radats got traded that year. Have I got these guys all backwards? No. Yes, that part is correct. At least I think so. Let's see where Radats. He pitched for both. Radats pitched for both of these clubs. Okay. My God. Yes, Radats is still with Boston, but he will be traded to Cleveland at some point. So you can see how that gets confusing. Okay, against Bell, they used Gosker in real life. Here's another one. He'll be traded to Kansas City at some point, but for now he's still on Boston. So Jim Gosker is going to be the batter. My apologies. Thanks for bearing with me on that. I wanted to get it straight. Okay, here's Gosker, one down. Bell the windup. The pitch to Gosker. He walks him. Gosker draws the walk. And he's a decent runner. Not great, but not bad at all. And that'll bring up Lenny Green. Tiant ready to come in if needed. One more hitter walk will fatigue Bell. From the stretch now, the pitch to Green. That's a 3-5. Swung on and missed strike three. Oh my God, what a strikeout. A key out there for Gary Bell. And with two down, it's going to be Casco. 1 for 3 with a triple. Bell from the stretch. Here it is on a 3-8, fly to center. That's playable for Davalillo. He's there and makes the catch for the out. No runs, no hits, a man left. And Bell, who came this close to being pinch hit for in the top of the 8th. He's now 1 inning away from a complete game shutout. And I'm going to take a short break. I have to use the facilities. So bear with me. It'll be a quick one. We're going to need a little warm-up on that one. I'm back. I was thinking, one of the things you have to decide when you're doing a replay is how you're going to do it, okay? There's basically two ways to play Strat-O-Matic. You can play baseball or you can play strat ball. And I'll explain a little bit my thinking on that. Okay, if I'm playing strat ball, that is going strictly by the numbers, and I'm managing, say, the Red Sox. If I'm playing strat ball, Stigman pitches 5 innings max, and he's coming out after 5. I don't give a shit what he's done. I'm going to go to the bullpen. That's strat ball. You're playing strictly the percentages. But when I started doing this, I decided I was going to lean much more towards playing baseball, which is if the pitcher is doing well, I don't look at the card. I just play it as if it were an actual game, or we pretend we don't know what's on the card. Okay, Stigman's pitching a good game, so we're going to stick with him until he shows me he's not. So hopefully that makes sense. But that was my decision. And sometimes my trigger to play strat ball kicks in because I'm in a lot of keeper leagues, and in those leagues it's definitely strat ball. Stigman is not going past the 5th inning. I don't care if he's got a no-hitter going on. That's it. He's coming out. His card isn't that good. Of course, most of those leagues have rules about the starter must go at least 4 innings or until he allows 3 runs, let's say. That's a common one, before you can take him out. Which makes sense, too. Otherwise, people would... I saw people in tournaments back in the 80s, they'd take their starter out after 1 inning or even 1 batter, and they'd have these insane bullpens lined up, 5, 6 deep, good relievers, and they'd come right at you. So they had to make some kind of rule to prevent things that were completely ridiculous from occurring. But you can see how that could happen. Okay, here we are. It's the 9th inning. Bucky Brandon on now to pitch for Boston. It'll be Max Alvis to lead things off for the Tribe. Brandon's ready now. The pitch to Max, a 2-7, a single on a 1, but that liner is speared by Smith. And there's 1 away. Here's Landis now, 0 for 3 with a walk. Brandon the windup. The pitch to Landis, 2-6. That's a base hit for Jim Landis. So Landis with a 1-out single. And Rocky Colavito is going to get another at bat. Tied for the league lead in home runs with 5. He's 1 for 3 with a walk today as Brandon comes set from the stretch. Here's the pitch, a 3-11. That's a base hit into left field for Colavito. Landis can try to go to third, but Yaz is a -3, so it's already a -2 to third. 15, 13, 10. Now he'll hold up. On a 1 through 10, he'll hold up. First and second one down. And here's Hinton. Hinton came on to play defense at first base for Whitfield last inning. Here's the pitch from the stretch to Chuck Hinton on a 3-11. Grounder to third. That's a force play. Casco has it. That'll go 5-4, and that's all. Colavito forced. Landis to third. 2 down. And Tony Gonzalez, the batter. Brandon set now. The pitch to Tony. A 3-10. He pops him up. Petrocelli under it, and that'll do it. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left on. And here we go to the bottom of the 9th. Can he do it? It's been a banner day at the old Bender household for Gary Bell. Most of you probably know what that's from. And he's got the heart of the Boston Order standing in his way as he attempts to go for a complete game shutout. On a New Year's Eve day. I want to thank all of you guys for hanging out with me today. If you're enjoying this content, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Carl Yastrzemski, Tony Conigliaro, and George Scott. Those are the names that stand in the way of Gary Bell and a shutout. He's got a 4-hitter coming into the bottom of the ninth. And here's Yaz. Bell, the sign from Askew. The windup, the pitch to Yaz on a 6-9. Fly to left field. That's playable for Landis. He's there. And that's one. Here's Tony. Tony 0 for 3. Bell gets his sign. The windup. Pitch to Tony, a 6-7, a grounder to second base X. That's Gonzalez, a 3E14. And here is the play on a 16. Easy play for Tony. Throws him out. 4-3X. And the Red Sox are down to their final out. George Scott, who's 1 for 3. Bell staring in now, gets the sign from Askew, taking his time. Deep breath and lets it out. Comes full to the windup and the pitch to George Scott on a 5-7 grounder to third base. Alvis has got it. Throws him out. And look at that. Gary Bell did it. How about that? Gary Bell with a complete game shutout. And boy, he has to be the player of the game, doesn't he? Look at that, a 4-hitter. And I want to thank, somebody pointed that out to me earlier. Kurt Miller, he's got a 4-hitter going, yep. So thank you, Kurt, for that. 4-hitter, let's see how many, did he walk anyone? I don't think he did. Oh, he did. He walked the pinch hitter, Gosker, in the 8th. So only 1 walk. He struck out 2, 3. So he didn't strike out many, but any way you want to add it up, it's a 4-hit shutout. That speaks for itself, especially against the Red Sox in Fenway. Oh my God. Brandon, in his inning of work, allowed 2 hits, no walks, no strikeouts, no runs. Stigman is charged with all of the runs, and he takes the loss. So for Cleveland, 3 runs on 9 hits. There were no errors in the game on either side. And of course, only 4 hits for Boston. 3-0 Cleveland is the final. And Larry's enjoying it. Let's look at the pitching records now real quickly. For Cleveland, that is Bell's first decision of the year. He's 1-0. And Stigman the same. That's his first decision. He's 0-1. Home run by Askew, who responded to being hit by the pitch. That was fun, too. So 3-0 Indians, your final. The Indians improved to 6-1. That, believe it or not, moves them into a first-place tie in the American League with the Minnesota Twins. Yes, it's very, very early, as I keep saying. But still, it's fun. Boston drops to 3-6. So things not going quite as well for them. But anyway, I want to wish all you guys a happy new year. The next game up on the schedule is going to be Minnesota Twins at California Angels. And I might come back and play that one later today. Do a little New Year's Eve doubleheader. I'll have to think about that. But I'll take a break, get something to eat. I already have the score sheet made out, so it would be very easy to do. See, there it is. Minnesota, California, already ready to go. Lineups are written in and everything, so I could do that. Larry votes for that. Anyway, I wish you all a happy new year and a safe and sane New Year's Eve. I'm not going to go on any soapbox or anything, but you know what I mean. And for myself personally, I'm saying 2023, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. That's what kind of a year it's been for me. I'm not going to go into that either, but yeah, I'm ready to turn the page. As Bob Seger would have said, right? Turn the page. So I'm going to go for now. I'm going to fix myself something to eat, and I might come back and do that Minnesota-California game. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Take care. Bye for